my gosh, everything worked today.
Hurrah.
There we go. I'm even in the Substack.
Don't try and make it you're setting off the gods. You're angering the gods.
I know Patreon isn't live yet. I spoke too soon. It's still there we go. All right. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Friday Hangout. I'm Tom Merritt, and I got a couple of guests joining me today to talk about alternate internet, internet in rural areas, internet on the road. Tim Sinclair Lee, welcome. If you want to say hi and introduce yourself, let folks know who you are.
Hi, I'm Tim Sinclair Lee. I'm a engineering manager by trade. Been doing it since the late 90s and enjoy doing youth ministry on the side.
Oh, fantastic. And then Jared, go Seahawks. I really appreciate the geeky Seahawks.
The geeky
shirt.
Seahawks shirt.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And let folks know a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Jared Shockley. I am a platform engineer by trade, even though my education's in construction engineering. And I actually live on the road along many months of the year in my motorhome. So I have to be able to do my job remotely from almost anywhere.
Yeah, so when I titled this Starlink road test, it's both metaphorical and literal, at least in your case.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the road. This started because somebody had suggested you do 5G home wireless as a live with it, which we might still do because Scott Johnson uses it for his home. But you all were nice enough to write in and say, "Hey, I use Starlink. I've used fixed wireless and home wireless internet and all that." And I thought, you know what, we'll need more space than a live with it to talk about all this stuff. So thanks for being willing to take a bit of your Friday to chat with me.
That's my pleasure.
You're most welcome.
Well, let's start with Tim because he gave us this amazing spreadsheet. This is like pretty much all of your connections over the past, 25 years, looks like.
Yes, sir. So, we started off, we lived in the Bay Area, and this was like at the beginning of the boom of the internet. Moved from there out to Placerville. My wife's a horse trainer, and so horse property wasn't available in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So moved out to Placerville, which is about halfway between Sacramento and South Lake Tahoe. And we were far enough away from the Colo office that we couldn't get DSL, so we were stuck with dial-up at a terrible speed.
Until 2008, it looks like.
Yes, a really long time.
Oh, wow.
And so I pretty much did everything at work when I was at work, and then I would come home, and you could check email, and that was about it. And then our ISP got they were building a star network of fixed wireless, and it was running on 80, I think it's some variant of 802.11 that was allowed to broadcast at a slightly higher power and had directed antennas. And when someone between me and them finally got it installed, there was enough connection for them to get to me. And so at that point, we got that, and that gave us a solid 3.5 megs. And so that was great.
Which, when you're on dial-up, is an improvement.
Yes. Oh, yes. Vast improvement. I mean, we could like stream audio and stuff.
Right.
I did actually end up getting one of those Oberhigh voice over internet VoIP boxes, and I was using that with I had to go get a cell phone line from T-Mobile and then transfer it to Google Voice, and then I could make it into my Google Voice, make it the same as my landline number, and then get rid of my landline number. There was a lot of shuffling, but that worked. And so we did that for a while, and they had a couple of improvements whilst we were there, but they were really the only game in town. Prior to that, when we'd been on the dial-up, I did actually look at ISDN, and it was silly money.
Yeah.
And outrageous.
It wasn't even that much faster. it was just reliable, if I remember right. Because I looked at it around in that same era too. And it, especially when I was on dial-up, it was like, ooh, ISDN would be nice because it's dedicated and you don't have to dial up, right? But the speeds weren't really that crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, we gave up on that and didn't really upgrade. Over the years, the fixed wireless did get better as they improved their equipment, and so we got up. Were
you
ever
on WiMAX? Because my sister used fixed wireless in her farm that was a WiMAX delivery for a while, and it was decent.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was they were proprietary boxes that they purchased from somewhere, and I know it was based on a semi-regulated band.
Yeah, WiMAX was 802.16. So if you remember the 11, it probably wasn't that.
It was 11 or 15. I can't remember which one it is, but I don't think it had WiMAX as a branding. And it did get to the point where I had actually our new youth pastor moved in and was living on our property for a bit. And so I ponied up the extra money for the ultra expensive one, and that cost me like $120 a month. And that got us up to like, I think it was 25 megabits. So we had that for the 4 months that he was on site.
And was it like solid 20 megabits, or was it laggy, or work sometimes, didn't work other times?
It was not laggy. It had pretty good pings. The other option back then was you could get direct TV satellite internet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
I did have a friend who had one, but she said, I cannot do any kind of VoIP. I cannot do any kind of
because I think you were only getting download from the satellite. Upload still went through dial-up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just the lag was way too much, and so I was like, yeah, I don't care enough to pay that much money to still not be able to do what I want to do. So at that point, I gave up and waited, and then we ended up moving out to Alabama, and we moved like just after I'd applied for Starlink, and they hadn't opened it up in the foothills in the Sierra Nevadas.
So you were rural again in Alabama.
Yeah, and so then I ended up being rural again. We had a short period where I was in a DSL property, and that was okay and cheap, so I didn't complain about that. And then we moved back out to a rural place once we'd found where we wanted to live out here. And at that point, we had to go back to DSL because that's all that was around. T-Mobile hadn't started putting in their fixed Wi-Fi boxes yet. And then I got the Starlink, and it was a best offer or something that they called it. And it was like, we're going to let you connect and you might get service. And
it's like, sort of a good luck. You might get something. We're not promising what it is.
And that was actually really good. It's probably, they guessed it would be about 120 best. And we were seeing a solid 40 to 80 or something like that. And then about a couple of years ago, you can see it in the sheet if people want to look, and they upped it to increase the cost to 120 and listed it as being 200 meg, and it's a solid well, if you do it through their app, they say it's 160, but you go through fast.com or something like that, and they'll come back at like 150-ish, 145. So yeah, it very respectable, low pings. I have zero complaents.
Are you on it right now?
I'm on it right now.
Yeah. That's the proof, right? You're able to do this video, audio, chatting with me and Jared, all over satellite. That's crazy. That, especially because it has to go up and down, right? It's not just the down like we were talking about with the Hughes thing.
Right. So yeah, I've been very happy with it, and it's kind of ironic that as they've increased the number of subscribers rather than you having to share bandwidth, which is what I would sometimes see in my fixed wireless before they did upgrades of equipment. For this, as they've increased subscribers, they've also been launching more satellites, and it's just got better and better.
It just gets better. Yeah. Jared, have you found that to be the case with your Starlink too?
When I've used the Starlink, yes. When I can get a good constellation view, which can be tough on the road sometimes, depending on where you're camping. As long as you have good view of the constellations, I've been getting better and better internet on the Starlink versus the T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Yeah. By the way, Sworn Pacifist wants to know where you got your shirt.
Yes, it's no longer available. It was an old shirt that was available out of the Microsoft company store many years ago.
That's nice. Yeah. I'm sure a creative person could replicate it somehow.
I'm sure someone could replicate it. Yes. Maybe we should get someone working on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble intellectual property wise.
But the Seahawks going to the large bowl or the large.
I'm honestly more comfortable saying Super Bowl because I'm like, look, I am not trying to pretend I'm associated with it. Then I am replicating that shirt where it's like, I don't know, somebody may have made that, and I don't want to rip it off from them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ways to play on it, like. Like, are there any other commands that work? But that's kind of brilliant. That's kind of the best one. Yeah.
It was when I saw it, I had to get it.
Well, yes, and WX Roamer points out because Starlink is low Earth orbit, the distance is shorter than other satellites, which are further away from Earth. With that helps. Yep. Let's talk a little bit about your setup then, Jared, because Tim took us through like kind of the evolution of what you can get if you're not in a city, basically. And that kind of tracks with what my sister has had, although she hasn't gone on to Starlink yet. I keep asking her when she's going to do it, and she's like, man, what we've got is working for now. So it's kind of where they're at. But Jared, your situation is a little different. Explain what you've got going on in the cocktail of internet that you use.
Well, it's different depending on where I'm at. Where I'm at right now, I'm at I stay the winter at a friend's house, and I've got 2 gig fiber, which is great.
Yeah. Okay. So that's easy.
That's easy. But when I go on the road, I actually live out of my RV, and I have a combination. I've used a combination of services, but right now I'm using T-Mobile's 5G home internet and Starlink as my backup. And it's really led to a nice situation. I mean, and I'm an IT professional. I have to have good connectivity back to the internet to do my job.
Because you're doing video conferences and uploads and all that, right?
And sometimes even webinars.
Yeah.
At that. On top of all of that, I'm a photographer. So I'm uploading backup of my media out of the RV just in case.
I know how that goes too. Eileen is always hitting the top of our storage limits, and we have to figure stuff out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as you can see, I've this is like my setup when I'm in the RV, and I have people look at they come into my RV and they look and they're like, wow.
Yeah, I mean that setup. Honestly, if you hadn't told me it was an RV, it would take me a minute to realize it if I were to ever realize it. Like, it is a solid setup.
It is. And I mean, that's even my standing desk. However, I can't raise it too far because I run into the cabinets above it, but I could, if I wanted to, pull it out and then stand.
Yeah.
But what you can't see very well, or you can kind of see if right here is my Ubiquiti Ultimate Dream router, and right next to it is my 5G home internet device.
Got it. So that's what you rely on the most then is the 5G.
Yeah.
And they don't mind that it moves around, even though it's called home internet.
I have not been asked about that.
Right.
But I am also in what they call a roaming profile.
Got it.
So like what Tim mentioned. If I have, if the area is saturated, my service is lowered. It's the same thing with my Starlink, though. I'm on the roam plan. So I'm at a lower priority than someone on a fixed location plan.
So Tim has priority.
Correct. If I was in the same area as Tim, he has priority. Yeah, for sure. But I tend to find places like this where I'm, outside cooking. The inside is where the work has to be done, but then I can hang out at places like this nearby.
Gotcha.
And have to deal with these sorts of people.
Neighbors.
Well, hello, friend.
Yes.
That is an amazing shot. That is a frightening shot of a buffalo. I would be a little nervous at being that close to a buffalo.
I'm inside my car, which is a Subaru Crosstrek, and I still was scared as heck.
Yeah. I would be too. I assume he just went along his way, though.
Yes. What you don't see is there's a line of about 50 of these beasts.
Oh, this is just one of the herd.
Of the herd. We're in a long line, and actually riding alongside these buffalo are some national park rangers on horseback.
Oh, really? Kind of monitoring.
Yep. They aren't trying to hurt them. They're monitoring them and keeping us out of the way.
Sure. Yeah. They're hurting you, not the buffalo.
Yes, they're hurting us.
Yeah.
And there's a specific road. It's the north road between the Tower Junction and the Mammoth Hot Springs. And there's just a section the buffalo prefer to walk up the road than the vertical.
Than the vertical. Yeah.
Like
Howard wants to know if there were any deer or antelope playing nearby while you were watching these buffalo roam.
As a matter of fact.
Glad you asked, Howard.
Thank you for the setup there, Howard. Yes. No, there were actual antelope and deer near the buffalo, along with elk and wolves.
Yeah,
and a grizzly bear.
Oh, really? A grizzly? For
a
real?
Grizzly. Yes.
That's even more frightening than the buffalo, frankly.
I'm still going through all my pictures from this trip, and I haven't gotten to the grizzly bear pictures. So, but you get to visit places like this in the Grand Tetons.
Yeah.
When you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, and what's your internet like then? Like, because you've got the 5G, I assume when you're in a place like this, if you get the 5G, you're getting pretty good bandwidth because there's probably not a lot of competition.
Yes, that's correct. Most of the time in the smaller town areas, if there's 5G, I'm getting great internet.
Yeah.
The problem that I ran into on this and several other trips is you get into certain small towns. A good example is West Yellowstone. In 2022, I was in West Yellowstone. I was getting 4.5 bars on the device, and I was only getting 50K up, 12K down.
And that was just because there were enough other people around using it?
The backhaul from West Yellowstone was tremendously just oversaturated with people. It was that way, though, on Verizon when I was using a Verizon hotspot, because I've used a Verizon hotspot, I've used an AT&T hotspot, I've connected to my phones as a hotspot. I was telling Tim and yourself, I have props. I actually have a little device here that I used to use instead of the Ubiquiti, which is a little router from GLINet. And these are great travel routers. One of the things you can do is you can actually plug in a phone via USB and make it a modem.
Okay, yeah. And then will that bond multiple connections? That's great.
It can.
Yeah.
It can. Not like the old so you were talking when Tim was talking about some of his old internet. I had to admit I had just some flashbacks. I spent many years in Montana, and my first major internet in my old business was a web ramp connected to 3 56K modems using 3 different accounts.
Yeah.
Connecting to the internet to get internet access. And we were, as long as it wasn't a single file you were uploading or downloading, if it was, web pages.
Yeah.
It was fast as heck.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. Back in the day. And then we got DSL and
Isn't that crazy how you get used to it? Because I remember getting my first Earthlink DSL connection and just feeling like, I was living large. Nothing could stop me on the internet now. And when I got rid of my SonicNet DSL a couple of years ago, the last time I had to rely on it was what caused me to cancel it. I was just like, this is not acceptable as a backup. Like, it would be good enough if it was all I had. But I ended up using my phone's, I think, 5G connection because it was better than the DSL, and I was like, I don't need the DSL anymore. It's just crazy that our phones carry a better connection than that one, which felt so fast the first time we got it.
Oh goodness, yeah. And then so we talked about, my primary connection is that 5G home internet. My backup is this little guy, the Starlink Mini.
Ah, okay, yeah. So when you're outside of range, because all of these 5Gs in the US have pretty good service, but if you're in the middle of a national park, for example, you're not going to get anything. They just don't have the towers there. So you use Starlink in those situations?
I do. And for example, when I was in West Yellowstone and that backhaul was so slow, I actually put out my Starlink. And then I was getting, I think I was getting at the time 100 down, 80 up, which perfect for what I was needed for what I was doing.
That is more up than I have right now at my house.
Ouch.
And what's the reliability been like on that? Because the one thing I've noticed on I just have the big version 2, it's been like it might go down once a quarter, probably less than that, and you just power cycle it and you're done.
I have noticed I need to power cycle it once a week on the configuration I have. The bigger problem that I've run into with it is, especially because I have the Mini and then I had the Gen 2 before it, has been bad weather. Because if I've been in the Rocky Mountains a lot, or the Midwest in a bad thunderstorm, the minute weather gets bad, you have
restricted. Torrential rain, then it gives up a little bit.
Or snow.
Yeah.
The one time I got caught with snow, that was not fun with the RV, and it wasn't fun. The nice thing though, on all of my Starlinks so far, is the fact that it'll have an auto heater, and so once it gets to a certain temperature, it'll start heating the surface and melt off anything that falls on it. So,
yep, I have seen the cat pictures of that. I've not experienced it myself.
There is not much you can do when the sky is dark, though. Like if you just can't see the sky, that is the one. I'm curious. I would say that's the one thing that would keep this from being universally useful, but I'm guessing someone will figure it out at some point. I don't know how, or I would be the one profiting from figuring it out, but yeah.
It would have to be a shift of frequencies.
Yeah.
Because the main frequencies that they're using is susceptible, but it's also the frequencies that can get to the satellites easiest.
Yeah. So. Which would make it a spectrum fight, which makes it much less likely than a technological barrier would be.
Exactly. Because you might be fighting, and frankly, I think the main people you'd be fighting would be defense agencies, because they want those spectrums for that. Yeah,
they want that ability to talk to their satellites for lots of reasons. Yeah,
I mean, I would ask Amos, but.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to pop in here later. If actually, he might.
Yeah,
but I have indications that he might.
The one thing that I ran into with utilizing all the different the carriers is, especially when you're using hotspots, you run out real quick. The 5G home internet is unlimited. The Starlink is unlimited. I didn't have to worry about those.
Is the 5G home internet true unlimited?
Yeah.
Or is there a soft cap where they're like,
no cap on it.
If you not even if it's unreasonable bandwidth, that kind of thing?
I lived in my RV all last summer at a campground here local to Seattle, because I had to stay local for other reasons. And ironically, the campground I stayed at, where my RV was, 300 feet away was the primary T-Mobile antenna for the area.
Mm-hmm.
So I had direct line of sight to the T-Mobile. I was getting 600 down, 450 up.
You're like, it was as good as being wired into the tower when you're that close.
I could only do better by pulling a fiber. Had to be a
by
fiber,
physically
not
connecting to their fiber. Yeah. To the backhaul for the tower.
backhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was using excessive amounts. Never got a warning, never got any problems, never got slowed.
Yeah.
So
we never talked to you, Tim, about bandwidth caps or anything like that. Do you have any experience running into that?
So yeah, with the fixed Wi-Fi, I didn't have any problems that I recall. Maybe in the early 2000s. No, I don't recall any issues with bandwidth caps per se. The reliability was, especially during weather events, was pretty bad. When your 3-year-old has figured out how to reboot the internet, then you know that you've got regular internet issues. So it used to be I'd get calls from when I was at work on how to fix this, and then it got to the point where my eldest son, at the age of, he was probably about 7 by then, and homeschooling, and he'd be able to figure out how to go reboot everything in the correct order so that
that's great. Yeah.
So he can reconnect again. So.
It's the kind of thing that a 7-year-old is best at, right? Like just that kind of sequential sort of stuff. Reminds me of Jeff Kanata's kid, who was like really into sprinklers and could tell you all of the various sprinkler brands, what they were best at, what connectors you needed, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he still can, actually. That's the thing about that stuff. I assume your child can still reboot the internet in the proper sequence.
Yes. He is no longer a child. He's moved out of the house and past college and everything.
Stealth Dave was wanting to give his parents your 7-year-old's phone number, but it won't work anymore.
No.
Yeah. So you have the fixed Starlink, and I'm curious to compare these two because I know a lot of people have questions about does it really work? We kind of talked a little bit about the reliability and the lag and all of that. I sort of want to encourage you to compare notes between the one, because Jared, you generally use your Starlink on the road. You don't have it at home yet, right?
I keep mine here at the house in case we actually just had a fiber outage.
It's like your backup at home.
It's my backup so I can get to work.
Right, but you don't rely on it there.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, but for Tim, sounds like that's your internet is the Starlink.
So I'm pulling it up live, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
All right, let's see.
Right there. So that's
let me make you bigger there. 20 millisecond latency, 34 watt power draw, 15 megabit per second throughput, and 99.8% ping. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you can go and look at they'll run a test for you, and it'll be they fix it a little bit.
They massage it, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is going directly to their services. Yeah. So that's what they're saying.
265 down and 28 up. Is that right? It's kind of fluctuating around there, but yeah, not bad.
Yeah. So that's really not too bad. And even if I went and ran it from, let me go find like fast.com.
And you, in your spreadsheet, it says it's $120 a month. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So
it's not cheap, but it's not bad relative to other offerings that are in the same. Yeah. 110 megabits per second.
Yep.
So that's out to the general internet rather than right into the Starlink server.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more than serviceable. I have had low issues with it. It's sat up there through, we haven't had a tornado come through here, but it's been through some pretty big storms, and it's just been a champ. It slows down a little during the actual heaviest downpours, but otherwise it's very solid.
Jared, how does that compare to the speeds and reliability that you've experienced?
So I've been able to get about the same speeds. The plan I'm on is 165 a month because I'm on what they call the Roam plan.
Sure.
So I'm on Roam Unlimited. So I'm not tied to a specific location, and I have the unlimited cap. Speeds I've gotten anywhere from 150 down to 60, 70, depending on the location. I was up in Blaine, Washington, north of Seattle, up near the border, and I was only getting 50 to 60 down up in those areas because they have a lot of folks using it up there. So they're saturated, and because I'm a roamer, I'm one of the lower priority connecting to the satellites. So I get basically they create enough bandwidth for the fixed people, and then those of us that are roamers are trying to take off of it. Well, the Blaine area up near the border is a very big area for RVers, tourists, a lot of seasonal folks. So.
And you could take it with you out of the country, and it would work in many. They say 150 plus countries, so it would work.
It would. It would. I have to activate the country that I'm going to, or I could get a package that is global. A good friend of mine, actually a former manager of mine, in fact, he's the one who kind of introduced me to the T-Mobile service because he uses T-Mobile on his motor yacht up in the San Juan Islands. And because John Legaire's house was up in the San Juan Islands, T-Mobile coverage in the San Juans is amazing.
Turned out to be pretty great. Okay, yeah. No,
but his backup is a Starlink. And they would go up into Canada, and they would be up some of those fjords, if you will. And they have T-Mobile, or they have the Starlink, and they're getting, they both work in IT consulting. They're both able to sit on the boat doing their consulting work out in the middle of nowhere.
Now, there is no hardware cost depending on the situation, and this changes a lot. So it depends on, what deal you're getting and when you're getting it from Starlink. Did y'all have to pay for any equipment?
I did. I don't know about Tim.
Yeah, I paid. I think it was $550, or it might have been $575 because I had to get the extra long Ethernet connector because I was running it to my own router inside the house rather than using their Starlink one. Because I have a multi-point router because I got Wi-Fi out in the barn across various parts of the house and everything. So it was, I had to get the Ethernet, their special Ethernet cable.
What made it special?
The connector on one end.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And
that'll do it.
I know all about that, Tim. I had to get the same one because I use my own routers, and it is annoying. At least, especially with the Gen 2.
Yeah.
And then come to find out the Gen 2 cable is an Ethernet cable. It's just cross-wired a different way.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's
which you could do yourself.
You can. So, not saying not saying I haven't been planning to do something about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you're not renting the cable, are you? You just had to buy it? Yeah.
I bought.
So
I bought
once you
everything.
buy it, you've got it, and that's that. What's the install like? And obviously the install is not an install when you're talking about the roaming version, but I'm curious, what's the install like at your house, Tim, versus what is the setup like for the roaming one?
So to actually get it connected was plug it in, turn it on.
Yeah.
And
but where did you put it?
To see the sky. So that took a little bit longer. Out on my back porch, I have the covering was far enough away from the trees that I could get enough north face exposure. And as I put it up in the winter before all the foliage came in, I was just crossed my fingers that it wasn't going to grow a bunch of leaves that would then interfere. But it turned out the first map, when it first started, there were some missing spots that it whined a little bit about. But now that there's so many satellites up there, it doesn't complain at all.
Yeah.
And it's been sat in the same spot unsupervised for the last 2.5 years.
Is it on the ground?
No, I've got it like it's sitting on an almost level awning over the back deck.
Okay, so not quite the roof, but roofish.
Yeah, roofish, roof adjacent.
Yeah, roof-like. Okay, and then like you said, once you got it in a position and it could see enough of the sky, you just turn it on and it goes, which makes sense. Now, Jared, with the roaming version, obviously turning it on and it goes as long as it can see the sky, but you've got to see the sky in a lot of different locations. So how does that work for you?
So as I love using a friend of mine's response, it depends. With the Mini, it changed. I actually use a tripod, one of my photography tripods. I've got a mount for it. I can just set it outside and I put it in a spot where it can actually see the sky.
Smart.
I have put it on top of my car before because it was parked out front and it had the best view.
Yeah.
So, hey.
And you're just running a wire from it into the motorhome, right?
Into the motorhome, into my utility bay.
Oh, and power too?
I have to have both the power. Right now, I have to have both. I purchased a device that on the Mini. The Mini is nice because it actually came with a 2-plug system. One's the power and one's Ethernet. It's full Ethernet. And I can then, I bought a device that I'm going to use and install in the RV that provides 12-volt DC from the 12-volt system in the RV and Ethernet over PoE. And then there's a splitter at the end. So it's a single cable out, and then it splits at the end into the
so
two.
that you could plug it into the Mini. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes things much tidier.
Well, and I can also use it without having the need to run a generator or have my inverters on. So I could be in the middle of nowhere and get internet. So a lot of folks are utilizing things like that. I actually have. I kept both the Gen 2 and the Mini, so I technically have two. Because
on the same account?
Yeah, they're on the same account, 2 different subscriptions.
Okay.
I'm going to put the Gen 2, I'm looking at buying some land eventually. And I know I mentioned this in the email. A lot of the public utility districts in Washington have now been pulling fiber with their power connections. I actually looked at one piece of land. It was 20 miles outside of Wenatchee, Washington, in the middle of the woods. It already had a gig fiber drop.
And I'm not mad at all that I don't here in the middle of Los Angeles. That didn't anger me at all when you wrote that to me.
And I do apologize. It angered me when I lived in the city of Seattle. If you're north of I-90, there's fiber. If you're south of I-90, there's no fiber.
Yeah, no, I think Scott Johnson was in that situation for a while where the fiber was across the street. I know where the fiber is. Yeah. Because Reed sent me a map of all the fiber that was in my neighborhood. And I'm like, great. Now I know when I walk the dog that I'm walking over the fiber that I can't access.
Exactly.
But it's now this is not a map of fiber availability, but these are public utility districts in Washington, and many of them have this sort of offering.
Oh, many do, especially when you look out on the Washington coast there. Grant County is one of the biggest ones over based out of Wenatchee. One of my prior jobs, I worked in medical IT for a radiology practice, and we actually got rid of an OC48 old analog/digital connection from the hospital to us for 2 pieces of fiber from the Grant PUD. And I love how they have their setup, because you pay them a service fee for the fiber to their central location, and then you get to choose your ISP.
Oh yeah, I see this. Find a service provider right here. Yeah.
And you can get one, like we had two different providers for the, we had two different fibers on two different lines.
And there's a bunch of them too.
Oh yeah. And we were able to get one that gave us unlimited at gigabit, and the other we paid for as a backup. We paid for whatever bandwidth we used.
There's fiber internet through Evergem in Roslyn. Roslyn is where they shot Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure, yes. Exactly.
Maybe I should move to Roslyn. I just have to convince Eileen.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to convince her. Although, we've had a few concerts in Seattle and Vancouver.
Yeah. No, it's not impossible. Oh wait,
exactly.
This is a here's the fiber availability map. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just for that county. This is not all of Washington, but it's
exactly
pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. So I've been looking at places where I can potentially get fiber at the location, but now I'm also with my Gen 2 Starlink. I'm like, okay, I can either have fiber or I don't have to have fiber because I have good connectivity with the Gen 2. I just have to have a northwest visual exposure.
What's your max on the Gen 2 in real world?
I get about
160
megs per second.
Okay.
Either up or down.
Up and down. Okay. Yeah. Which, I mean, yes, that is slower than my down, but it's faster than my up. And, in certain situations, it's probably not going to work as well as others, but it's good enough for most. I mean, I think Tim's a testament to that, the fact that we're using yours right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the big things for me when I take a look at that is it's allowed me to really, I had the land search in, very small zones. Now that's grown because all the PUDs, like you showed, my search has grown in areas, but now it's even in the regions where there isn't any fiber.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to get Starlink, would you guys recommend it if they don't need it?
Absolutely.
Because you guys both have a need for it. But if it's like, like for me, I'm just sitting here, I've got options. Do you think Starlink's a good option?
I would compare it, especially with the price that you're paying now and what speeds you're getting, given the ability to get fast enough internet with cable modems. I mean, I convinced the person I'm renting the room from here to get rid of her Comcast cable modem, and we got the a fiber connection, and she's been happy since. She's never been happier with her internet. And I'm happy because I have 2 gig when I'm here. And she's only paying $80 for it, which is the scary thing.
Yeah. These days, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. When she was paying $200 plus for the Comcast. But then
Tim, you jumped in and said yes right away when I asked the question. Sounds like you're convinced.
For me, it's I guess it's hard to compare, and I say that because I've been living in rural since 2001, and so the only limited experience I've had is DSL, which sucked, and the service sucked, and getting it installed sucked. So, from that point of view, Starlink's been, leagues ahead. I've never had the opportunity for cable or fiber, but I would say, when I compare it against the office that I work at, which is on fiber, I don't notice any degradation from home, and I can connect up to the VPN and work from home as and when I want to. And the only issue that I would have would be with the VPN server, which happens to be based in Texas, or the one that's up in New Hampshire rather than down in Alabama. So that would be the biggest problem that I have, and that's nothing to do with Starlink.
Yeah, it sounds like weather, the occasional weather issue, and it doesn't sound like it's very common, is the biggest.
It really has to be like you'd have to be in one of those movie scenes where your t-shirt gets wet in 30 seconds and is soaked through. It would have to be that kind of rain for it to really affect it. Most of the time, like if it's just regular rain, you wouldn't even notice.
I only say what I say because I'm in a urban area right now. When I'm in the rural area, like where Tim lives, I love the Starlink. And for me, it's the flexibility on the roam. I pay more for it, but I am so flexible. I can take it anywhere I go on the road, and it's been wonderful. The other thing that I'm able to do, by the way, as an RVer, I have my both of my Starlinks are on the. It used to be the old pause plan, which was free, but now it's $5 a month, and you get 300K, unlimited 300K, but it allows you to basically reactivate. And I only pay $5 a month.
Okay.
To keep the account open.
They're just keeping it on simmer, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It used to be free. Now we have to pay for it. I could talk about other things, but I'm not going to.
Sure. No, it gets very complex.
When where it's at.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But for me, it allows me the flexibility, frankly. Yeah. And that's huge.
What about it compared to 5G home internet? Again, if you're in a fixed situation and you know that Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile's home internet is good, if maybe you have some neighbors who have it and they're like, yeah, it's the service is there, the speeds are there. How do you compare that to Starlink if somebody's making that call?
I am, from my perspective, my 5G home internet is awesome. As long as I have good. Like if it's, I have to sometimes move it in the RV to the corners, depending on where the coverage is.
Sure.
But they have a little app that I can actually open up and says, okay, put it in that corner. Move it over there. And it can provide almost the same bandwidth to me as the Starlink, if not, like I said, more in some cases when I'm in a region where it's unsaturated.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Even in a fixed situation, I know several folks in the Seattle area that use it in apartments, especially because it's trying to get good internet into an apartment building is difficult. And most people are stuck with DSL still in this, and especially in a technology city like Seattle, it's like DSL really can't even get a cable modem. And it's because the apartment building doesn't
do it.
Yeah. Doesn't help.
Tim, do you have an option of 5G or
so they T-Mobile started advertising it and brought enough towers nearby to support it. I think about 6 months after I got the Starlink. I do have a good friend who's got it, and he really hasn't complained about it too much. He says it was better than the DSL that he had before. I have not done a head-to-head comparison between the two, and I can afford the Starlink, and it's been rock solid. If it was giving me issues, then I'd probably be looking at something else.
Yeah. I've been considering. On the one hand, I'm kind of fine using my phone as my backup internet because the times I've had to use it, it's been great and it works fine. But it always makes me a tiny bit uneasy because it is on a tethering cap. No, the cap is quite generous, and I've never gone over it. But it's always in the back of my mind, right? Like, what if this outage goes out longer? Am I going to hit that cap? And having something like home internet would take that away, but also it means I have to pay for it every month. And
so that would be the advantage of that Starlink pause feature. You can for $5 a month and the equipment, you could just have it sitting there, and you can activate it or reactivate it within seconds.
Like 2 minutes. I think the last time I reactivated, it doesn't take long to reactivate.
Okay.
So it would be there if you needed it.
Ideally, I want it to just be on and not have to reactivate it, but that is a nice option to have. Amos, welcome back. Welcome into the show. I saw you lurking over there.
Yeah. So I have a different use case that I would like to ask their opinion on. As we know, as viewers of this show know, I am subject to my fiber connection just having random 30-second outages throughout the day for no damn reason. And I was thinking about using either Verizon or Starlink to supplement that and, have a whole setup with failover and stuff. Verizon won't send it literally. They won't let me register for their over-the-air service because I don't live on the other side of Nelson, the road in my backyard. if I lived on that side, I could get it, but because I live on the south side, I cannot get it.
That is the beauty of bureaucracy, isn't it?
So stupid. So for failover and the occasional use and just being able to have it available, what would you guys' opinion be on Starlink for that?
I would say Starlink is great, and in fact, in your case, I actually know. Instead of pointing it north like Tim and I have to, you point it actually directly up or south from Alaska there, and it could provide you really good backup capability. Like I've said early on, my Starlink is primarily backup to my T-Mobile 5G home internet. So, and it's great. It always is there when I need it. I just get more speed out of the 5G home internet.
Yeah. I'm tempted to try getting the roam, and then thinking with the idea of, when I travel, I just take it with me. And granted, not every place I stay is going to have a clear view that I need. So that's the downside to this plan. But ideally, I figure that out. And then I'm carrying my internet with me wherever I'm staying. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be carrying it around when I'm walking around in a city that I'm visiting or something. But just for where I'm staying, I guess the difficulty there is it puts some limits on where you stay. If you're in a hotel, you have to make sure you ask for the room that faces north.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure if it's practical, but it's tempting if you could make it work.
There are actual hiking backpacks that have install systems for the Starlink Mini.
How heavy is it, though?
I have seen them. I saw them in the park,
in
both Glacier and in Yellowstone, and I just was kind of face-palming a little. But
how big is that travel antenna, though? How big is that travel? Like, is it small enough to slide through like a hotel window and have a mount? Like if you just had
it doesn't look
mount
terribly heavy. It's just big.
Because hotels only give you a couple inches, right? So you'd be able to slide it through and attach it to
Possibly.
Did you have to print your 3D mount for it, Jared, or did it come with it?
Mine, my mount, I purchased on Amazon.
Okay.
And it locks in, and it provides a standard 1/4 inch. So then like I said, I plop out my tripod and
somebody in Guangzhou just printed one out in their 3D printer and put it on Amazon,
exactly. The flip side, though, on my Gen 2, I have a flagpole from Harbor Freight that attaches to my rear ladder on my motorhome. And there's a gentleman who you can either buy the 3D printer file, or for $5, or he'll print you one for $20.
Mm-hmm.
You take the top off, you put this on, and my Gen 2 just slides in and locks.
Ah, nice.
Just like it's on the little stand that it comes with.
Yeah.
I looked at doing something like that for mine, and I was like, if me screwing it to the 2x6s on my porch awning don't work, then I'll go ahead and do that and have it off the side of the house. But it's been just fine. So, but it's very easy to mount, and because it orients itself. It's really a no-brainer from that point of view.
Exactly. For my Gen 2, that's why I love that. Gets it up 20 feet high, way above, can get it out of some of the obstructions. The Mini, I could do it on top of the flagpole, but it's just easier to set it up on a tripod and put it wherever I need it on the campsite.
Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at the Starlink Roam page, I realize there's a guy in a backpack in a canoe.
Yes.
I assume that is the backpack.
Well, it's meant to represent it.
Oh, I see it. There it is. I didn't notice it. It's over there on the front of the canoe. That's even better. $199 for the mini kit. I guess $299 regularly, or they just pretend like they're always discounting it, something like that. But
I got mine for $199.
Yeah.
I've actually thought about spending the money to get that, and then on the months that we go travel, I can pony up for the 165.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, WX Romer pointed out that if you lose service, you do need internet to reactivate Starlink. So if your only internet service is out as a backup, that would make it more difficult to use as a backup if you didn't have it already active.
Well, it now with the new Roam plan, you don't have to. You just activate it from the Roam, which is, like I said, the 300K.
Oh, because you have an internet connection as part of the $5 a month thing.
Yes,
it's just
so
very
slow, but it's enough.
But it's slow enough to reactivate. Okay, all right.
Yep. That's one of the changes they've done. I though had to do what WX Roamer had to do before, and I used the campground Wi-Fi, which I think I have more on the Roam now than that campground had on its Wi-Fi. Because everybody, all the kids are out there in their iPads. I mean, you're out in the middle of the woods, and there's these kids, iPads sitting out there.
Oh, that makes me wonder if you go to a stadium and the Wi-Fi is swamped by everyone at the game or the concert or whatever. If you can get this through security, which I think you could, then you just fire it up and you've got your own internet connection. Again, you have to pick the right seats, though.
Exactly.
Maybe if you take your digital media personality lanyard from CES with you,
there you go.
Just let you walk straight through.
Yes. That may work against me, depending. I don't know.
Never tell.
Yeah.
Digital content creator with the satellite dish at a stadium where we're having a concert.
No, but see, I'm a digital content creator, sir. Well, how do you expect me to create my digital content if I can?
I can't upload?
Yeah.
It's something I've thought about now. I haven't gone to as many tech conferences since COVID, but I've thought about it with tech conferences, because you get there and just sit outside and then offer it to people. Hey, you want internet?
Yeah.
$5. Come on.
Making some friends.
Get the big power banks, sit outside with the Roam and that.
Yeah, honestly, the problem getting the modem into the stadium won't be the modem; it'll be the battery that you need to bring to power it.
Exactly. That can be the tougher part.
Yeah. So one question I think we touched on briefly, but just I'm curious to dig into it a little more, Jared, is why you are on the road as much as you are. Versus just staying in one place.
Why not?
It's because is it as simple as you just want to?
I will admit I got during COVID. I got was watching a whole bunch of videos. Got the van life. Ooh, I should buy a van, and I ended up going out. This is like the whole funniest story ever. I drove out to New York where my sister lived during COVID because it was like, well, if I have to be stuck in a house, why not be stuck with family and hang out and be close to my mom and help her out and stuff? So we went out for 3 months. And I kept looking back here for RVs and motorhomes because I always wanted one. One night I was so tired, I forgot to change the location back to Seattle. And I looked locally. There's this wonderful RV. Well, it happens to be this lovely Jayco Greyhawk that I now own. And I bought it in New York. And it was cheaper than buying it in Seattle because the market in Seattle was so much more hot, if you will.
Yeah.
So at a minimum, I could buy it in New York, bring it back to Seattle and sell it, and I would have made about $8,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's actually a market down or up here where people will drive down to Indiana where most motorhomes, or not motorhomes, but RVs are made, northern Indiana, and they'll drive them back up here. And the cost of driving down there, picking it up and bringing it back up here still is dwarfed by the profit you can make by selling it up here at the premium that it demands.
And it's not importing if you own it when you drive it through Canada.
Right.
Correct. Especially the Alcan, because technically there is because of that corridor, you're in transport from the U.S. to the U.S.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah,
or you just spend a lot on that ferry out of Bellingham to Whittier.
No.
Amos, I've done that ferry.
Amos is like offended that you even
I've done the Alcan twice. I'm never taking a ferry. The Alcan is just too pretty.
The Alcan is lovely. My friend who moved back, she retired from working in the federal government, and she was from Anchorage, so we drove back. She drove back to here, and then we took the ferry up. I only had to pay, I think, what was it, half of the room plus my fare, and it was only like $300-$400 for a 5-day cruise. Of course, she had to pay for the car by the foot on the ferry.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But it was a Chevy Malibu. So no, we're not going to drive that up the Alcan.
But your upside, Amos, was you got all that bonding time with your daughter, right?
So the second time was with my son.
Okay,
and we were in a Toyota. Not a Tercel. What's the next biggest one? Corolla. We were in a Toyota Corolla. Just him and I driving up here, which my daughter, who owned the car, totaled last summer. So great choices. The first time we were driving
through
up
the Alcan, and only to end up.
Only to get totaled by a motorcycle about 1.5 miles from our house. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The first time we were driving up here in a Ram 2500 Power Wagon, pulling a 35-foot travel trailer behind us. So
that's
and that was me, my wife, and our at the time 3-year-old, and that was an amazing trip.
By the way,
we had a
GPEG's
bathroom with
asking-
us the entire time. Like we drove with our own bathroom. It was great.
Yeah. GPEG is wanting to know if the Alcan is a route. Yes, it's short for the Alaska Highway.
Alaska Canada Highway. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes there.
That's the official designation of the Alcan, but actually,
Yeah, and then
you can take it all the way to Maine, I think, Maine or New Hampshire, something like that. So,
let's see if we can find somebody who shows the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do the Alcan with my current RV.
I mean, summertime's a lot easier. It's
of
not
course,
bad.
but
There's only
it's still-
the one corridor going to Whitehorse, the last bit of it going to Whitehorse that's not paved.
Yeah.
That is a bear on your
that's-
suspension.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, I love my I call it the Jayhawk. I love my Jayhawk, and it's incredible. But I use this app called RV Life, which helps me get driving directions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little flip saying, "Do not route over gravel roads."
Yeah. Last time we drove up here in the Toyota, we didn't hit any gravel roads at all. Everything was paved. That is
wonderful.
not the normal though. There's usually at least a 20-mile section that is being repaved, and you're always going to hit it when it's not time to go.
Well, I used to live in Montana. I went to school there at Montana State, and I lived there. I started a business after graduating and such. And in Montana, there is 2 seasons. There's winter and construction.
Yeah.
So
That's how Alaska is. Yeah.
that's all you get is winter and construction.
Yeah. We only have one season here.
California.
Yeah. It's also construction
Yes.
and hot and all of those things.
Yeah. Stealth Dave says the Michigan has the same 2 seasons.
Yep.
So, unlike Alaska, which has like 20 seasons, because you have like first winter, then like a late fall, and then
Yeah, we're currently in early spring. It's been 40 degrees for the last 2 days.
Yes.
So all the ice is melting and everything else. It's a little concerning because the middle of next month I'm supposed to be driving up to the glacier to drive on the lake again. So that might not happen if these temperatures stay the way they are.
no kidding. That's scary. That can be scary.
Something about taking a 6,800 pound truck onto a frozen lake that's not frozen doesn't sound great.
So I've got one foot into maybe getting the Roam as my backup here, and then playing around to see where in the world I can make it work.
Same.
How about you, Amos?
Yep. I don't know if I'd get the Roam. So I pay $200 a month for my internet as it is, for my lovely fiber that likes to just randomly stop.
Well, you can do 50 a month, or and that's 100 gigabytes.
Right,
Yes.
but if I'm going to put the money into a load balancing system or whatever else, failover, something like that, then my current internet plan is flexible. I can always drop that down to a lower tier and spend that saved money on the Starlink, and you know what I mean, make the Starlink my primary with the local fiber, my backup, or however the speeds work out. You know,
okay,
kind of play with that a little bit too.
Sure.
So there's some flexibility there because I am on the most expensive plan in the state to get my unreliable high speed internet.
The home plan is maxed out at $120 a month. Is that right, Tim? That's what I'm seeing here anyway.
Yeah, that's what I get. I think they only have one tier for the home plan.
Correct. Yeah.
Residential.
Yeah. It's
Well,
the
they offer data capped versions on the website. So 200 megabits per second, $80, 100 megabits per second, $50 a month.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would stay away from the and don't use it on a cruise ship, because then you get into the what they call the global pricing. Yeah. And one of the interesting things that I found, because I actually have friends that work on the boats out in the Arctic, they're crab fishing in the Bering Sea. They actually are using the global service, and I can actually talk to them on iMessage and call them on their iPhones out in the middle of the Bering Sea, but they're spending $10,000 a month for that connectivity.
Ooh.
Something along those lines.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is putting a damper on my plan of taking this with me.
Just don't take it out of the, the 10-mile... if you stay within 10 miles of the coastline, you're still within the coastal coverage. So, for example, my friend he and his wife that live on the motor yacht, they shut off their Starlink if they get even close to that 10-mile border.
2 months per trip for international. So that's not bad. I mean, I'm not planning on spending more than 2 months on a vacation anytime soon. So I think
would be nice
fine.
too.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
And one assumes that if you're 10 miles past the coast, then you would lose cell phone reception. So when your cell phone shuts off, that's when you're meant
Shut
to
off
your
your
Starlink.
Yeah. And I actually have been checking, because my sister and my brother-in-law have become avid cruisers. So I've been checking up on all the different rules and stuff. Definitely don't bring it on a cruise. They will confiscate. They'll even confiscate my little router on a cruise.
Your travel router.
Yeah.
Oh, because they just don't want anybody messing with the connection.
Yeah. And I mean, they'll confiscate certain power outlets if you have like a multi-outlet, things like that too. So cruise ships they're a special.
Yeah, there's plenty of folks that talk about it on other podcasts.
Yeah. Just
what
cruise ship is like use our internet or don't. Those are your choices.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yep.
I probably won't be on a cruise ship anytime soon, but I don't know. Rob Dunwood's a huge fan of them, so
I'm going in November.
Where are you going?
Curacao and Aruba, I think.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we've been planning it for a while. That's going to be pretty exciting because I've never been on a cruise, so I made sure to get the lowest deck possible, the center deck, the one with the big balcony.
Of course. Way to do it.
All the fresh air.
No kidding. That's fun.
Should be a blast. I actually have a friend
WX
that's
Roamer is
leaving
full
today.
of good information, not just about satellite internet, but also get the liquor plan on the cruise and everything will be fine.
Exactly. No, I will say right now, I started planning a major trip that was going to include Key West, and then I was going to go to the East Coast, spend time with family, and all that got canceled, which I'm not happy about. So,
yeah.
Thanks to the lovely letters of RTO. So, pretty soon I have to go back to the office.
Yeah. So that's going to put a crimp in your motorhome style.
It is. I'm getting all of the rules so I can figure out what's possible and what's not. So yeah, I'm figuring things out. It looks like it's going to be 3 days a week for 3 days a week, 8 out of 12 weeks. So I could, in
That gives
essence,
you
take
4
a month
weeks.
and work from the road.
Yeah.
So
And here is my rig for my travel.
Wow.
that's a nice rig.
So I don't have
Ain't
either the
bad.
truck or the trailer anymore, but yeah, this is in the front of it. We had a generator with 4 5-gallon gas tanks on it. So we had a little front basket. And we were on the cab. We had all of our most important stuff in the truck, and then we had some other stuff in the trailer. With of course the front of the area was the bedroom, and the bathroom had its own separate door in the back. So that's how we travel.
Nice. Mine has a 2.4 kilowatt generator built in as a part of the electrical system. I'm actually working with a friend. We're going to rebuild my electrical system and install a whole bunch of solar and a whole bunch of lithium banks.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to dry camp pretty much full time.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super self-sufficient.
It is. It's nice having campgrounds every once in a while, but it'd also be nice to, there's enough BLM land in the West.
Oh, yeah.
I can go find a spot and just park.
And for anyone who hasn't seen the White Lotus, that's Bureau of Land Management, not Black Lives Matter in this particular case.
In this case, yes, it's a Bureau of Land Management. Or, I'm not going to say anything. don't want to start stuff.
Also, don't want to spoil White Lotus
That too.
That's a good element in season 1. Well, thank you guys for hanging out today. This was fantastic.
Pleasure.
I'm glad this all worked out. I appreciate you both emailing me. I appreciate you both being willing to be on with each other and hang out and talk about this. If folks want to find out more about you, is there anything you want to tell folks? This is your chance to do it. Tim, start with you.
You can hit me up at Tim Sinclair Lee. I'm that way on X and Instagram. So you should be able to find me. I'll be honest, I don't spend too much time on social media because it's not a nice place to be right now. So it may be a delayed response.
It's telling that anytime I have somebody who's not like a podcast host on the show, that's basically what they say. So I think that says a lot. Jared, what about you?
Well, my website is jaredontech.com, and that I'm going to have links to other places, including I'm actually working on a photography website of all my photography. But on the main one I use is Instagram because I am a photographer, and it is that's one of the pictures I took in Iceland right there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And
I loved Iceland immensely as far as being able to that was a major waterfall and people were just walking out on the there was no like
no guardrails,
no nothing. You could just walk out wherever you want. I went to a geyser field there and people were literally standing over the geyser looking into it. And I'm like, having come from Yellowstone, I'm like, I don't want to get anywhere near this stuff.
Not the best idea, but yeah.
But I'm on Instagram as JShock, JSHOQ.
Ah, fantastic.
And I post right now. I'm posting a lot of stuff of fun around Seattle that I've been doing, and I have posted about my trips in the past.
Excellent.
Yes.
Amos, anything you want to pass along before we wrap up?
Well, since we're talking about web pages, I have one. AnthonyLemos.com.
Oh, look.
My photography, some old blogs that I haven't updated in forever. If you want to know my thoughts, as it says right there, I have them. They're there. And if you want to look at my my podcasting history or my photography, I got links for all that stuff right there. Hasn't been updated in a while, but it's a good kick in the butt to get in there and start doing some more stuff. So
fantastic.
We should talk more, Amos.
We should. We definitely should.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jared. And thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Amos, as always, of course. And we've got more shows coming. In fact, this weekend on the DTNS feed, we not only have the weekend or the monthly wrap-up with Jen Cutter, but we also have a cow that uses tools. Cow Tech coming on Sunday with Dr. Nikki. So
Damn it, Tom, I forgot about that.
Stick around, folks.
It's a fun episode.
Oh my goodness.